What's going on?
You doing all right, Coach?
Hi, doing great.
Bouncing around, doing all sorts of things today.
Trying to stay ready for practice.
What time do you practice today?
3:30.
Nice. So, Coach, 8 wins on the year, most since 2005. Tell us, how your season's going so far to the date.
Season's going good. I mean, we're a young group of guys. I mean, we've got about 15 freshmen on the team this year, and so we brought in a big class this year. And so we're young, which gives us a lot of energy, gives these a lot more things that I got to focus on to keep these guys reeled in days and stuff like that. But we're learning, we're changing every day, changing the culture, changing the way we play, how we play offensively, defensively. And so the big thing right now is, we got 5 seniors graduating this year, and so we're trying to do them right by having a good year, but also kind of build for the future. And so that's kind of our mindset and our goal right now.
This weekend is an important weekend for the ASC tournament. It's coming down to this weekend to see how other teams and we do, to see who gets that final 5th and 6th spot in the conference tournament. Where's kind of ETBU sit at in that situation?
We're right there on the bubble. I mean, we have to take care of business, which is what you want. You don't want to wish ill will to another team or another opponent and say, I hope you lose so we can get in. I mean, we like the chances that we know if we take care of business this weekend that we can get into the tournament. And so we still got to take care of our business. We got to hope the teams that are doing good still take care of their business so that way we can get into that 5th or 6th spot. So we're right in the hunt. Good weekend at home for us. We get to finish at least at Cornersfield at home, so that even helps increase our odds a little bit and gives us home field advantage for the last 2 games.
And Friday night will be senior night. Tell us a little about 5 seniors that you'll be recognizing.
Mm-hmm. Got 5 seniors that will be done this year that will get to hang up their boots and call it quits after ETBU. So we definitely want to send them off in the right way and getting us to the tournament. That's something that was our goal from day one. And so we've got David Jackson, who's been here all 4 years, great leader, been an integral part for our offense. You got Matthew Argenbright, who's been here the last 4 years as one of the captains for the last couple of years as one of our outside backs. You got Jose Vega, who's the other outside back, who's battled injury a lot this year, but the guy never quits, and so he's been here all 4 years. And then you got Joe Ramirez, who's a transfer student, so this is his only year at ETBU in that aspect, and so he'll finish out his career in that aspect. And then you have Antonio Bravo, who's one of our outside mids. He's kind of played all over the place for us, played a little bit of forward, a little bit outside mid, and so he's been here all 4 years. And so those guys, those 4 that have been here for 4 years, they've grown with the program. I mean, they're best friends. They've lived together for many of years, which is they're very unique and different, and so they all get along great. And so we were talking about that at Bible study last night, and so we kind of had a team meeting after Bible study and talked about what our goals were and how to send these guys out right. And so we're looking forward to it, and they're excited, and they know this is a good year to end for them.
That's good to hear. I remember watching these seniors come in. Like I was talking to Keeley, and the volleyball seniors come in. This is like my senior year because I've seen these class come in and go through and watch all of them kind of develop as freshmen. And I remember seeing Argenbright out there on the parking lot with some kind of scooter that he made up and powered and running around, and him and David Jackson. And so those are the things that I remember them, and then seeing how they've matured through the years, and then 4 years later now they're graduating.
Oh yeah, they've definitely matured, and they've continued to mature every day. And so I've seen the videos of the scooters. I've asked if it could if it could come back because coach wants a ride, but they said it's gone now. But I was looking forward to it.
So switching gears a little bit, do you follow international soccer and MLS?
No, I mean, if there's soccer on TV, I get yelled at most of the time by my wife, and she's like, "Can we please watch something else?" And so, I mean, I'm always watching soccer or coaching soccer or recruiting, and if I'm not, then I'm probably in the backyard playing soccer with my kids.
So, who do you follow in the MLS?
I'm from Dallas, so I'm an FC Dallas fan. I've been to numerous games out there. I get to go all the time, and so I've got a lot of buddies that I go with out there, and we'll meet up for the weekend and go to a game, and so that's normally who I watch the most. But
do you have a lot of soccer scarves?
No, that's one thing I never collected. I've got a couple. I normally collect jerseys. I've got a closet full of jerseys in that aspect. Done a couple mission trips and got a couple wholesale jerseys and a couple cheap ones in that aspects. But I like to collect training tops and jerseys. I get to wear those scarves. I'm not a scarf guy. I'd rather have something framed on a wall than a scarf.
So internationally, who do you follow?
Growing up, I was a huge Arsenal fan, and that's who I've kind of enjoyed watching. But now being a coach, I mean, I want to watch any game, and I'm looking for one strategically what they're running, how it's working for them. And so I've always been an Arsenal fan. I love a lot of teams, but Arsenal's probably been my favorite. It's the one I have the most jerseys for. It's the one that I have probably had the most DVDs and all that kind of stuff growing up. But I mean, I like anything that if there's a game on and it's going to be a good game, I want to watch it as a coach side, and I want to break it down and see how I can relate that to our guys. And that's what we're trying to do is incorporate those games into our guys, so that way they can see, okay, we need to get to this level, or we're doing this. Let's get to the next level. And so it's a little easier than watching our own film sometimes, but maybe to relate it to them.
Have you been able to travel internationally and see some different stadiums?
I've been internationally. I went to Brazil for the World Cup a couple years, two years ago, in that aspects, and I've been to a couple other places international wise. I haven't made it over to Germany yet. That's where I really want to go in that aspects, and so I've seen a couple stadiums, not a lot.
Did you get to go see the Americana?
Nope.
I went to Brazil right out of college, and that's one of the things we got to do when we were down there was go see the Americana, and it was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because I wasn't a soccer fan then, so I didn't realize how big it was. But now that I look back on it, I mean, we got a full depth locker room. I mean, we got to go sit this. I mean, everything down on the field, and it was pretty neat.
Oh, I wouldn't bet. I bet.
So, are you an English soccer fan? A little bit? No.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the last question was, give us your best foreign accent as a coach.
Oh, I don't have any foreign accents. I have gibberish, but I mean, I can't.
You can't give us your best
I'm terrible.
English accent.
I would embarrass myself, and I'd embarrass my family and my guys. I couldn't do it. I mean, I try to do it all the time at my house, and my wife says, "Please stop. You're embarrassing us all." I'm like, "There's nobody here," so there's no way I'm doing that live. I'll never hear the end of it in that aspects, and my guys will get a hold of it, and it'll be a meme for the rest of the week or something like that.
We don't want to do that.
No.
Not
Keep a little bit of dignity.
Yeah, not in your first year.
No, we'll save that for later down the road. Let's win a couple more games first.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for talking to us. Good luck this weekend here at home as ETBU will be back at home last 2 matches of the year at Cornish Field. Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.
And our final guest of the day is going to be the Mr. Erik Solberg. And, we only allow ETBU gear on for the show.
I've got the ETBU gear on, I just thought I would, rep the hometown while I can. It's been 71 years. It may be another 71 years, so I'm just trying to enjoy the moment while I can.
Mr. Solberg, the Chicago Cubs fan on campus.
That's it. That's it.
So, I guess before we even go into soccer, so last night, how'd you feel?
Yeah, it was really disappointing. You wait 71 years, or for my case, 26, and to not score a run, disappointing. Our team, though, we had a little pumpkin painting as a team bonding activity last night, so that was a nice divergent, or to take away my attention from the poor old Cubs last night. But I've got still confidence in them. It's a 7-game series for a reason, so feel good about it.
Arietta
Optimistically
do it today?
Yeah, I think Arietta will be fine tonight. We'll settle things down. I think the Indians. I think they'll get the Cubs will get to the Indians' relief by the end of the series. So I feel good about it. I definitely need to be more patient with at bats. That's one thing they started the same way as they did against the Dodgers series, which is not having patient at bats, not getting the starter deep into counts, and get the pitch count elevated. So I hope that they'll a little more patient. But Jake will do his thing. Good Texas boy. He'll close them down tonight, I feel like.
Are you excited to see it in Chicago?
Yeah, I think that's going to be super exciting. I mean, growing up, about 15 miles as the crow flies from Wrigley Field, I think it's going to be really cool to see the hometown showcase in that light. It's been waiting a long time to see a World Series, so it'll be exciting for sure.
I opened up a can of worms on Facebook yesterday because I could root for both teams because where I grew up in Ohio, you saw Cleveland, you saw the Cubs. You could watch them both. And I grew up a White Sox fan.
Sure.
So I said, well, I'm going to declare cheering for the Indians because 2 summers in a row I ran the board for the Cleveland Indians.
Sure.
And I was a White Sox fan, so I wasn't much a Cubs fan. But I've got Ben Zobrist, graduated from my alma mater at Alabama,
right.
And he plays for the Cubs. So
there you go.
There's some ties there, but I put up, I think I'm just going to root for the Indians. And oh my, people just lit me up. How could you do that? And da-da-da-da. And I was like, wow. There's a lot of hatred out there from the Cubs fans and the White Sox fans.
Well, I think, White Sox fans probably are the ones that, the Cubs fans, whatever. But the White Sox fans, you really shouldn't, in 05, I was certainly not cheering for the Chicago White Sox. Where I grew up, you didn't have a choice. I grew up on the north side. You cheer for the Cubs. It's what you're born into. And, so, I would not cheer for the White Sox. So I understand that little flack there from fans.
I'm a Chicago fan, too, so but I guess when it comes down to it, there's no love.
Well, I guess not.
And even though ESPN forgot to recognize the White Sox World Series championship in '05.
Yeah, it'll forever be overshadowed, especially if the Cubs finally do get to win one.
Yeah.
If.
Well, it'll be fun to see them at Wrigley Field. I got a ton of friends because we lived in Elgin for 5 years.
Right.
Got a ton of friends that are Cubs fans, so I'm happy for that. I really am. For me, it doesn't really matter who wins.
Yeah.
I was happy the Indians won because of where I was at and grew up in Ohio, but if the Cubs win too, my brother's a Cubs fan, and I'll be happy for them. I just want really good baseball.
Yeah, I think it will be a good series. Hopefully the weather cooperates, doesn't get too cold. But I was really for me, just for that they're in. Obviously, you want them to win, but the fact that they're in the World Series, to be honest, there's been many days in my life I thought I'd never see that happen, come to fruition. You know, like 07, 08 when I was in high school and my freshman year of college. Their best record in the National League one of those years. They win the division in 08 and they get swept in the first round both times to the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. So you know, the fact that we won a couple series back-to-back years and now are in the World Series, that's a huge accomplishment. So I definitely won't be overly distraught if they go out now. The fact they've made it is great, but of course, I'd love to see them win it.
Savings-wise, are you going to try and buy a ticket to go home and?
Well, you know, first things first, right? Like I got a soccer program here to take care of, but you know, Game 7 is the day after the first round of the conference tournament. You know, maybe I could give the kids a day off if we've won that or something and fly home, but we'll see. Yeah.
2 or 3 months worth of paycheck.
Yeah, probably not gonna happen. But
I think I saw standing room only tickets were like $2,000.
Yeah, I was lucky enough when the Blackhawks went to their Stanley Cup in 2010. I was able to go to Game 1. But even then, you know, Cubs fandom is a totally different level. Yeah. So like for example, you know, my grandfather lived to be 96 years old, never saw the Cubs win it once. Yeah. So pretty amazing.
Shifting from baseball talk to ETBU talk. Coach, you're coming down to this last weekend for the American Southwest Conference Tournament. You know, what does ETBU need to do to get into the tournament?
Plain and simple, we control our destiny. A win in either game this weekend, and we'll be in for sure, and more than likely be the 6th seed unless Ozarks wins both of their games. So that's pretty much what we have to do. Obviously, Friday is the better chance against McMurray, who's beneath us in the conference standings, only one conference win on the year. Hardin-Simmons is Saturday, our regular season finale. They haven't lost yet in conference. So the McMurray game is probably our best chance. We hold the destiny in our hands. If we win that game, we'll be in for sure, and like I said, more than likely the 6th seed. If we don't get a win this weekend, we got to hope for some help, but if Ozarks loses out, then we could also be in. But we'd rather not do the scoreboard watching. I was hoping, you know, a win last Friday, we would have been in really good shape against Concordia, losing 1-0 on a PK. It was disappointing. You know, had we won that game, we'd probably be in right now, and I thought especially the senior class deserved to kind of have a final weekend where we're not under the pressure of having to win, but I know we're going to get the job done on Friday. I feel really good about it, and it's always nice to control your own destiny, and hopefully we won't have to do any scoreboard watching, and we can take care of business.
Friday night's also senior night.
Yep.
Talk about the seniors you'll be recognizing.
Yeah, I've got 5 special seniors. You know, it's always a tough time to have a coaching change before your senior year. I know they didn't ask for it, and so they've been really, really special to me. And they're my first, you know, senior class as a head coach, and you know, they've been really great about helping with my transition. I've got 5 players that have all contributed this year. You know, of course, you got Alexis Smith from nearby Hallsville, originally from Michigan, who is really positive and just a great encourager. She scored a hat trick against Louisiana College, which is something that I'll always remember, and just a fabulous young lady who just brings the energy even when she's on the bench, is always positive. I was thinking back to our win against Laterno and how she kept the bench really positive. We're going to score. We're going to rush the field as soon as we score, and that was really special. And then Nat Lomax, also from Hallsville. I mean, she's a one-of-a-kind player in the back line, makes up for so much with her speed and her athleticism, but also just her character she's got high integrity and just is so fun-loving and just keeps us light and keeps me on my toes, and is just a pleasure to work with every day. Azalea Smith, who goes by Z, she's just the most consistent maybe of all of our seniors. You know what you're going to get from her. She plays hard. She plays with a chip on her shoulder. She transferred here from Ouachita Baptist a couple years ago and has just been a really delight to coach. She does a lot of help. You know, she's helping with a lot of the managerial duties as a student worker for us. So she does so much for myself and Kristen, my assistant, that, you know, we couldn't say thank you enough to her. But also on the field is just a quiet, composed leader. She brings energy when nobody else will, and so that's definitely somebody that I have to say a lot of thanks to and really going to miss. And then, of course, 2 more of our special attacking players. Amber Campbell is a solid outside player. She scored the game-winning goal against Ozarks, and that was a really great moment for her. And she just she's got speed, she's feisty, she plays hard, she works for everything, and is just exactly what you want in somebody who's going to represent your team. She's started, she's come off the bench, she never complains, she just plays hard and gives you her all for 90 minutes. And then, of course, Aaron Miller is a great spiritual leader for us. Had the game-tying goal against Sol Ross, the game-winning goal against Laterno, so she scored some big goals for us this season, and is just a good leader. Girls really respond to her, especially her spiritual leadership has been really, really a big blessing for me, and so I'm going to miss these 5 seniors for sure. They aren't necessarily always, they've all had big moments throughout this season, but we're definitely going to miss them, not just as players but as people.
This is your first year as being a head coach. What are some of the things that you've learned this year?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I learn every day something. The girls find a way to teach me something. Kristen, my assistant, does. The experience, the game does. I think just to keep moving forward, to always know there's another game, even when it's the last game of the season, it's part of the process, and just growing and learning to have some fun. The girls have done a really good job about keeping things fun, keeping things light. We're serious when we need to be, but we have fun when we need to be as well, and just not letting myself take life too seriously. And I think that's been really, really good for me as a first-year head coach. But at the same time, my desire to win is at an all-time high, and definitely holding the girls to that standard and being consistent with that is extremely important to me as well. So I think that's probably the biggest thing I've learned. And again, the girls teach me new things every day, and it's just a pleasure to get to coach them.
Who's been some of your mentors to get you to this point to be a head coach?
So Dylan Harrison, who was at Nicholls State University, gave me my first chance in the college game. Literally, knew I wanted to get involved coaching college soccer. Sent a couple of emails, never heard back, and finally, he gave me a chance, and we sat down and had pizza together, and he offered me a job, and I worked really hard for him for a year before moving on to East Central in Oklahoma. He's now the head coach at Trinity, so it's kind of cool to see him make the move to the D3 level, and he's done obviously a terrific job. They're undefeated on the season so far, and so he's somebody I look up to a lot just because he gave me my first chance really in the game. And then Riley Bailey at East Central is a tremendous friend. He just gave me a lot of responsibility there. I wouldn't be here without him. My dad is an extremely big mentor. He coached a lot of my sports growing up, and I wouldn't be the person I am today without him. And my whole family just encouraged me to always follow my dreams, even when it was crazy, when I stopped going to school, graduate school for a little while, and took a volunteer college coaching position. Never knew that it would turn into this, and they always believed in me and had confidence in me, and so those are people I look up to. But there's a lot of different people in the profession. I'm somebody, I'll read coaching books by John Wooden or John Cal or Urban Meyer or whomever it is, and just try and soak up little nuggets and see how it can apply to my team. Not everything works, but those are just some people in the coaching profession that have really helped me along and believed in me and given me a chance. So
this year, 4 ties for the team.
Yeah.
Which equals about 80 minutes.
Right.
Which is almost another full game.
Yep.
Talk about keeping your team motivated through these because they play hard. How do you keep them going through these overtimes?
I think it's just, so we've played 5 overtime games. We had the win against Laterno too. I think part of it helps that we haven't lost in overtime. Helps we haven't lost in overtime. I mean, I think that really helps because there's nothing worse in soccer than losing in overtime. And part of it is just the character and the resilience of this team. It's something we preached since day one when I got here is, hey, we got to play hard for 90 minutes or whistle to whistle. If it takes 110, that's fine. The girls are tired of hearing about me saying whistle to whistle, but we've got to do it. And they've, to their credit, they've fought it out. We haven't always gotten the wins, but we've had good ties and bad ties as well. But we've done a tremendous job this year of it'd be really easy for us to pack it in overtime and take a loss somewhere, but we just keep playing. It's not so much motivating. We try and talk a little bit of tactics, but also just remember, this is about a family. They're playing for one another. They're playing to honor God. This is not about me. It's not about a coaching staff, the athletic trainers. It's about them, and I couldn't be more proud of that, the fact that we've gone to overtime 5 times and have 1 win and 4 draws instead of a loss. I think that's really tremendous and shows, again, a lot about our character and our fortitude with which we play. And, again, I couldn't be more proud. It's not ideal to go to so many overtime games. I think the guys hate us because we've been delaying a lot of their games, but, it's a lot of fun and it's nerve-wracking, but our girls just play tremendously hard. Our defense has been rock solid all year, and it's just been a blast.
MLS and international soccer?
Yeah, so MLS, I didn't really follow it a lot growing up. I mean, I remember watching it as a kid, as a young soccer player, but since I moved down to this area, FC Dallas has been my team. I usually go to anywhere between 2 to 4 games kind of a year, and it's a fun experience, but I enjoy the international game more.
So who do you cheer for internationally?
So Liverpool is my team. I would whip out my Liverpool membership card if I could. No, it is. I'm a really big supporter. Like they're up there with my Cubs fandom, with my Ole Miss fandom, with my Blackhawks Bulls fandom. I just really enjoy watching it. So that's what you find me doing on a Saturday or Sunday morning or a random Tuesday afternoon. So really like them, and they fit right in. You know, they haven't won the Premier League since its inception. They haven't won a title in 20-something years. So they kind of fit in with that heartbreak and that's good but not quite good enough. So I'm a huge fan, and I'm actually looking forward to hopefully at some point when I can save some money of going over there and watching a couple matches. But absolutely just it's amazing how you can love and be passionate about a team that you live 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 miles from. Yeah. But it's really fun. So that's who I support.
Do you want to give us your best international accent?
So the girls and I do this quite a bit, like in practice. So yeah, like and I don't have a family to embarrass yet. So but yeah, I could talk a little bit like this, couldn't I? And we could just be talking a little bit about football and about Liverpool's chances this weekend. Had a great result against Tottenham Hotspur yesterday in the League Cup, 2-1. So a big result. We're excited about playing McMurray this weekend, senior night. It'll be a great festive activity, and we hope to see you there. Kick off 4 p.m. right on the nose, right on the button, and it should be a great match.
Can we check his green card? That's pretty good.
So what happened, right? So like again, this is part of me like being me is ever since I was little, I would like announce games, even if other people were announcing them. Right. Like, so it'd be my kid, friends playing like wiffle ball, and I would be sitting there top of the first, going on like that. And so the same, or like video games, like Madden or something. Like I'll just talk over the commentators, and just that's kind of how I practice. But soccer, I just always felt like it's best in a British accent, so I had to like do it in a British like I'm not going to do it in an American accent. So that's just kind of how that started. Yeah.
Coach Erik Solberg, folks, English accented person.
Big time.
All right, Coach, thanks for talking.
Thanks so
Good
much.
luck this weekend.
Appreciate it.
And go get a victory to make the tournament.
That's it.